Hello. It's nearly midnight. It's freezing up here in my music attic. I'm wearing a cardigan with a depressing hole in the sleeve. Louise is away for a couple of nights, so I'm all on my lonesome. So basically the perfect conditions to do Jon The Digital Gramophone's Sad Bastard vinyl tag. So he's done a number of prompts to elicit sad bastard records and songs. So let's get on with it. So first up, number one on his list is an overplayed sad song. Perfect Day by Lou Reed, I'm going to have to go with. Now, I used to love that song. When I was about 14, 15, when I first heard it, I thought it was the best song in the world, and I put it on tapes for people, on mixtapes. Then it was used in the Trainspotting soundtrack. The BBC did an all-star version of it, and then Susan Boyle ends up covering it. Now, I mean, I suppose Perfect Day could be a happy song, but it isn't. When it gets to the "you're going to reap just what you sow," yeah, and most of it is in a minor key, so it does sound pretty sad, even though he's talking about being a perfect day. Of course, there is rumours that it's more about his drug use than any sort of relationship stuff. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Lou, I don't want to hear you again. Okay, prompt number two. Now, this is basically you're sat there listening to some music and someone walks by and says, "What's this sad bastard shit you're listening to?" It could be anything. Most of my stuff is sad bastard shit. But I'm going to go with Sold American Flubber. This is a bit of sort of slowcore Americana. Yeah, there's some upbeat tunes with a bit of a funky bass going on it, but chances are they're going to pass by when it's some of the dirgy slowcore stuff. Great album, by the way. Great band. Sadly overlooked. But, yeah, sad bastard shit. Okay, number three. This is a sad album to many, but a dance party to me. And I'm going with Roy Acuff. Now, this is a compilation album, but it's got a load of songs on it here that are kind of sad but yeah, I find myself singing along in an uplifting way. I mean, you got things like the wreck of the old 97, people being killed in a train wreck. We've then got a Willie Roy, the crippled boy. Oh, yeah, they're crying their eyes out. But mainly this is because it's got the wreck on the highway, which if this comes on when I'm driving the car, I'm singing at the top of my voice. I didn't hear anyone pray, dear mama, I didn't hear anyone pray. I saw the wreck on the highway, but I didn't hear nobody pray. There you go, Roy Acuff. Okay, number four. This is a love song, but it's sad. And I'm going to go with a Billie Holiday song. Well, I mean, everyone's done it, but it's They Can't Take That Away From Me. She's singing about, I mean, first of all, you've got Billie Holiday's voice, which is possibly one of the saddest voices in popular music. But you've got the song, which is a Gershwin song, I think it's a Gershwin song, that's, yeah, she's singing about all these wonderful things she about her partner, about her lover. Yeah, if it breaks up, they can't take away her memories. So she's not living in the moment. She's looking to the future, and she's not looking at it being a particularly happy future. So there you go. They Can't Take That Away From Me by Billie Holiday. Oh no, Tony Holiday. No, Billie Holiday. Number five, we've got favourite sad lyric, and I'm going to go with a song by Noah John on their Tadpoles album. Sorry, I don't have this on vinyl, but I'll hold it that close so it makes it look like it's a record. How about that? Anyway, the song is called Old Ham, and it's about this old fella that lives on his own, always has, probably working his farm, got no life really. But the line that is an absolute killer line, it talks about, it's a kind of refrain that's repeated, and it's and he never knew his mother because she died when she was giving birth, but his father told him she was beautiful. Oh, Old Ham, Noah John. We've got to number 6, and this is a breakup song or album. I'm going to go with an album, and that's Jean Shepherd, and this is called Songs of a Love Affair, and this is from 1956, and it is arguably probably the first, arguably, probably, allegedly, the first country concept album, and it kind of follows a relationship going from the bloke cheating on her, and it sort of starts. What's the first song? A passing love affair. So it goes from a passing love affair, and it just gets worse and worse than that, and basically the end of their relationship. Apparently, Jean Shepherd wanted her to be the one that was having the affairs, but Ken Nelson, who produced the album, said, no, we can't possibly have that. But yeah, it's a really good album, really sad stuff. The perfect sort of breakup album. Number 7, we've got my favourite song by the Smiths. So first up, we've got Sammy Smith with Birmingham Mistake, which is a cracking song. She's the Birmingham Mistake, i.e. A girl that's been born out of wedlock and her mother's given up. That's a pretty sad song. And the second Smiths song is Carl Smith. And there's a couple of on here that are pretty sad. But my favourite is definitely It's Teardrop Time. So there you go. There's my favourite Smiths songs. We've got to number 8, the saddest song by a popular band. I'm pushing the popular band with this, but they were at one point, and this is Chaz and Dave. This is their second album, Rockney. And the track is called Edmonton Green. And it's, rather than it being a kind of a sad love song, that type of stuff, it's a song about a sort of the end of an era, a sort of an Edmonton Green is a part of North London near Tottenham, and it's talking about what's being lost as it's being gentrified, the sort of the people you're no longer seeing, the types of shops that are closing down, they've all gone, the bars are closing. So it's a real nostalgic song about an end of a culture. So yeah, pretty sad song if you think about it, and they sing it with a lot of pathos. Chaz and Dave, Edmonton Green. It's a sad one. Number 9, this is Tears in Your Beer, a sad country song. As I've been doing country songs, I thought I'd go to the ultimate, and that's Hank Williams, and the song Alone and Forsaken, which is it's a really stark, quite shocking song, actually, very sad. It's like a howl into the cosmos. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man, so Lord, if you hear me, please hold out your hand. I think that's what it says, but it also, it's just him and a guitar, very sort of sad. The ultimate sort of breakup song, I suppose. Yeah, Hank Williams, the saddest of them all. Number 10, saddest film soundtrack. And I'm going to go with The Straight Story. I know Mazzy, who I've already watched one of these tags, did an Angelo Badalamenti soundtrack. So I'm going to go with another one here. Straight Story is, for those of you who don't know, is a David Lynch film all about a guy an old fella who, after a number of falls and maybe a stroke, decides he's got to go and see his brother, who's dying and he hasn't spoken to for years. But he has to go across something like 3 or 4 states on a lawnmower. I suppose, I mean, sad is it's what's the word? Melancholy, I suppose. But the soundtrack is a lovely, equally melancholy soundtrack. We're nearly there. Number 11. I'm Only Happy When It Rains. And this might be due to countless wet weekends, bank holiday weekends, stuck in the house with the rain pouring down outside, and my dad listening to classical music. So I'm going to go with Elgar, the cello concerto, played by Jacqueline Dupre. So this is exactly the type of somber piece that's perfect for staring out of the window with the raindrops running down the window. I mean, not a storm. It can't be a storm. It's got to be a pathetic rain. That sort of, you know, it's just sad weather. And I mean, also you've got the added advantage of this being extrally. It's doubly sad because of the history that you have with this, with Jacqueline du Pré and her husband Daniel Barenboim, and of course her getting multiple sclerosis, not being able to play, and then dying quite young. So sad stuff to watch the rain by. Okay, number 12, and this is the sappiest sappy song you can think of that you've ever heard. I don't really have many sappy songs in my collection, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to go with this, the Beach Boys, from their album Love You. And it's the honking down the highway. Honking down the gosh darn highway, actually. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I could have had Roller Skating Child. I mean, this is a beautiful album. It's one of my favourite albums by them, but it's got a lot of cheesiness on it, but in a good way, with a sort of Beach Boys twist. Anyway, so that's the last one. Sappy, happy, gosh down highway. Okay, last up, I've got to nominate a sad bastard VCer. And the only sad bastard I can really think of is Jon, the 6-inch pianist. So, Jon, how about some sad bastard soul music? I reckon you can pull out a few, couldn't you? Okay, so that's it. Thanks, Jon, Digital Gramophone, for putting that together. It was fun. You know what I mean. And Jon added a little coda to the end of his video, pointing out that mental health issues are not something to be taken lightly, and especially this time of year, it can be very difficult for people. And he mentioned a charity that Chris from The Long Cut has been involved in, called Backline, which is involved in helping people in the music industry with mental health issues and various other things. They've got a lot of programs going on. I've donated. I shouldn't say that, it's really crass. But if you fancy donating, it sounds a really good cause, and I'll put the, it's up there, you can see it there somewhere. So at this time of year, it's always good to think about other people, isn't it? So I hope those in America had a good, what's it called? Not homecoming, what do you call it? Mother Homer. What's motherfucker. I hope you had a good motherfucker. No, what's it called? Goodness gracious. Home? No. I'm going to get this. All turkeys and all that stuff. Thanksgiving. That's what it's called. It's called Thanksgiving. Motherfucker. Bye-bye.